My name's Chris Morrell, and I've worked in social media marketing and content marketing for the last 10 years or so for brands including Fitbit, Cliff Bar, Sony PlayStation, and now here at Udacity. When you're setting up your ad campaigns, it's really important to think about what keywords you're going to target. So if you're developing a fitness app, it might not make sense to target fitness as a keyword because it's really competitive and might be really expensive. It might make sense to target a phrase like hit the gym or go outside, or something that might get you a little better return because the cost is low and it's a little less competitive with bigger brands. You have to get creative with keywords and ad terms. 5-6 years ago, when these social channels were really getting off the ground, things weren't quite as expensive. There wasn't a lot of competition with big brands, but now everybody's advertising on social, so you have to start getting, a little bit creative with the keywords and your campaigns to get better returns and to compete against people that might be advertising the same words as you.
When we're thinking about acquiring new customers, we definitely want to make sure our keywords are really targeted to your audience. So you want to keep them kind of long tail too. If you start bidding on really broad terms, we're thinking more farther up in the buying cycle or the buying funnel, right? So you want to be capturing a user who's about ready to download an app, for example. So maybe, for example, it's a music app or a music streaming app. You don't want to be targeting users who are looking for Taylor Swift or Taylor Swift music. That's going to be too broad, and most likely they're not going to be as likely to convert or download that app. So you want to be thinking really specific, like music streaming app, or listen to Taylor Swift music on my phone, or Taylor Swift music app, something like that. So you want to get really down to those long tail terms when you're acquiring new users off search, because you want to think about how people behave on search, both Google.com and Google Play. They know what they're looking for, and so you want to be present only when they're most likely to download that app. The other thing you want to keep in mind is making sure your ad creatives are relevant to your keywords. So if I'm searching for Taylor Swift music, ideally I see an ad that says, listen to Taylor Swift music 24/7 or something. So, having that relevancy really, makes it more likely that your ad will perform, that'll drive more downloads, capture the user's eye. And you also want to make it clear what the action is. So in any ad creative, you want to say, download today or download the app now. Something really simple like that, where the user knows if I'm going to click on this ad, it's going to be very clear what the action is, and it'll make it easy for me to download the app or register for, your product or your service. So yeah, those are the things you want to keep in mind, is keeping the keywords and the ads relevance, and then ultimately the landing page. So obviously if I'm looking to download or stream music or sign up today, hopefully when I click that ad, it takes me to the registration page where I can register for your product, or I can download that app right then. So the most ideal experience, let's say on my phone, I'm going to search on my phone, listen to Taylor Swift music on an app, see your ad, click on the ad, then it takes me to the Google Play Store, then I can download the app and then start using it. Adwords functions as an auction, so if a user is looking for a certain type of product, usually they're going to see multiple ads, and you might wonder, how do I make sure that I show in the top position or at the top of the page or even on that page? So all of that comes down to how well your campaigns are set up. So you want to follow those principles that we've been talking about and have really tightly themed keywords that are most relevant to your product, keep your ads really relevant to your keywords, and then ultimately your landing page is really relevant. So all of that comes into play, but then ultimately you can use your bid so this would be how much you're willing to pay for a user to click on your ad. So there are a number of factors that determine which place your ad is within the auction. So which position your ad will be within the Google results. two of those main factors that we know of, it is an algorithm, so we don't know all the factors that go into play, and that's part of Google's secret sauce is, just keeping it fair so that one advertiser can, play the system and know how to place their ad at the top, but we want to make sure the best ads are showing for every search query. So the way that we determine that as Google is two major factors. One is quality score and the other is your bid. So quality score, we'll talk about that first. It's a score that combines the quality of your ad and the quality of your keywords and the quality of your landing page. So that's why we talked about why those three are so important in your campaign setup, because you really want to make sure you have a quality ad that really is descriptive of what your business is, of what your product is, and that the landing page does actually direct to your business. And so all of that goes into play in creating a quality score, which is attached to every one of your keywords. So then when a user searches a term that triggers your keyword, that quality score comes into play, as long as everything is in place and you have a high quality setup. Then the next thing that the auction will look at is your bid. And your bid is how much are you willing to pay per click. Now, every advertiser can set that individually per keyword and say, I'm willing to pay, let's say I'm willing to pay 30 cents for a user to click on this ad. Now, maybe my competitor is willing to spend 20 cents for a click. Now, if my competitor and I, now my competitor might have a lower quality score than I do, and in that case, the combination of the quality score and the bid will win out the auction. So the advertiser will get the first position with the best quality score and the best bid. Now, as far as bidding goes, you only have to pay the amount that'll win the auction or beat out the next advertiser competing with you. So if my competitor was bidding 20 cents, I was bidding 30 cents, but I had the better quality score, I'll only have to pay 21 cents to beat out that other advertiser. That's why Google functions as an auction, to make it more fair for advertisers to decide how much are they willing to pay, but also you don't have to pay more than the market price per click.